AITA for confessing my feelings to my coworker after he admitted he had a crush on me at the company holiday party. I work in an office. It is a pretty standard job, lots of paperwork and computer work. I have worked there for almost 3 years. I mostly keep to myself. I am friendly, but I am not someone who goes out of their way to socialize. I usually eat lunch at my desk. I spend my free time reading. I have a few close friends outside of work. I enjoy my own company. I never expected to feel differently about work. I always considered it just a job. It paid the bills. It gave me something to do. I was not looking for anything more than that. My coworkers were fine. I did not dislike them. I just did not feel any real connection. I preferred to keep my work life separate from my personal life. I did not want to blur those lines. I thought that was the best way to maintain a healthy balance. I was content with my routine. I liked the predictability. I did not want any surprises. Then everything changed. I started noticing things more. I paid attention to the people around me. I realized I had been missing out. I had been so focused on my own little world. I had not bothered to look up. I started making small talk with my coworkers. I asked them about their weekends. I listened when they talked about their families. I even joined the office book club. I found that I enjoyed connecting with people. I realized that work did not have to be just a job. It could also be a place to build relationships. About 6 months ago, a new person started in my department. He sat a few desks away from me. I noticed him right away. He was attractive. He seemed nice. He was always polite to everyone. He made an effort to say hello in the morning. I found myself looking forward to seeing him each day. I would try to time my trips to the break room when I thought he would be there. I would even rehearse what I would say. I know it sounds silly. I started to notice things about him. He always brought his lunch. It usually looked healthy. He had a favorite mug. It had a picture of a dog on it. He always listened to the same type of music through his headphones. I never recognized the band. I found myself wanting to know more about him. I began paying attention to his routine. He arrived at the same time every day. He went straight to his desk. He checked his email. He made a cup of coffee. He worked until his lunch break. He ate at his desk. He went back to work. He left at the same time every day. I wondered if he ever did anything spontaneous. I wondered if he had any hobbies. I wondered if he was seeing anyone. I told myself it was just curiosity. I work with him. It is normal to be curious about coworkers. I see him every day. It is only natural to wonder about his life. I tried not to read too much into it. I tried to focus on my own work. I had projects to complete. I had deadlines to meet. I needed to stop thinking about him. I tried to ignore these feelings. I did not want to make things awkward at work. I also did not think he would be interested in me. I am fairly average looking. I am also pretty quiet. He seemed like the type of person who would date someone outgoing and bubbly. I decided it was best to keep my feelings to myself. One day, I was working on a particularly frustrating project. I was behind schedule. The data was not cooperating. I was close to tears. He noticed I was stressed. He came over to my desk. He offered to help. I was hesitant at first. I did not want to bother him. He insisted. We worked on the project together for a couple of hours. He was very helpful. He explained things clearly. He had a good sense of humor. We actually got the project back on track. I appreciated his assistance. I offered to buy him coffee as a thank you. He accepted. We walked to the coffee shop down the street. The line was long. We talked while we waited. I learned more about his hobbies. He plays guitar in a band. I did not know that. He asked about my interests. I told him I like to hike. We talked about local trails. He mentioned a trail I had not tried yet. He offered to take me there sometime. I said I would like that. We got our coffees. We walked back to the office. I felt more relaxed. The project no longer seemed impossible. I was also happy to learn more about him. The rest of the day went smoothly. I finished the project. I sent it to my manager. I felt a sense of accomplishment. I also looked forward to the hike. I wondered if it was a date. I did not want to assume. I decided to wait and see. I focused on my work. I tried not to overthink it. When I left the office, I felt optimistic. Maybe something could develop between us. I knew it was possible I was wrong. I still felt hopeful. I felt grateful. I thanked him for his help. He said it was no problem. He seemed happy to do it. As he walked back to his desk, I felt a strange feeling. I wondered if he might like me too. I quickly dismissed the thought. I was probably just projecting my own feelings. A few weeks later, the company held a holiday party. I almost did not go. I do not enjoy large social gatherings. I decided to go because I felt I should make an appearance. I put on a nice dress. I did my hair. I even wore makeup, which I rarely do. I drove to the venue. It was at a fancy hotel downtown. Parking was difficult to find. I eventually parked several blocks away and walked. The cold air made my cheeks red. I hurried inside to escape the weather. The lobby was crowded and noisy. I checked my coat at the coat check. Then I made my way to the ballroom where the party was being held. The music was loud. People were talking and laughing. I took a deep breath and walked into the room. I scanned the room for someone I knew. I spotted a couple of coworkers from my department. I walked over and said hello. We chatted for a few minutes about work. They asked me about my holiday plans. I told them I was going to visit my family. I excused myself to get a drink. The bar was very crowded. I ordered a glass of water. I did not want to drink alcohol and risk making a fool of myself. I sipped my water slowly and looked around the room again. When I arrived at the party, I felt awkward. I did not know many people well. I stood near the snack table. I tried to look busy. I saw him across the room. He was talking to a group of people. He looked handsome in his suit. I suddenly felt self-conscious. I wondered if I should have bothered getting dressed up. He excused himself from the group. He walked over to me. He said he was glad I came. I mumbled something about feeling obligated. He laughed. He asked if I wanted a drink. I said yes. We walked over to the bar. We ordered drinks. We started talking. We stood at the bar and waited for the bartender. I decided on a vodka tonic. He ordered a beer. The bartender brought our drinks. We found a couple of chairs away from the noise. I took a sip of my drink. He took a drink of his beer. I asked him how he was doing. He said he was doing well. He asked me how I was doing. I told him I was fine. I wasn't fine, but I didn't want to get into it. It was easier to just say that. He steered the conversation away from personal stuff. He asked about my job. I explained my daily tasks. I work in accounting. I told him I don't really like it. He asked what I would rather do. I told him I don't know. I have never really thought about it. He said I should think about it. I told him I would. I probably won't. I am too tired after work. I just want to relax. We talked about work. We talked about our families. We talked about our hobbies. I was surprised by how easy it was to talk to him. He was a good listener. He was also funny. I found myself laughing a lot. I learned that he liked hiking. I also learned that he volunteered at an animal shelter. I felt myself falling for him even more. As the night went on, we continued to talk. We moved away from the noise of the party. We found a quiet corner. We talked for hours. I felt like I had known him forever. He was intelligent, kind, and genuine. He was everything I had been looking for in a partner. I found myself completely drawn to him. His stories were interesting. He seemed genuinely interested in what I had to say. I appreciated that he asked thoughtful questions. I hate small talk. He seemed to hate it too. I realized we had a lot in common. We liked the same books and movies. We even had similar views on politics. It felt easy to talk to him. I didn't feel the need to censor myself. I felt comfortable being myself around him. I wasn't trying to impress him. He just seemed to get me. It was refreshing. I hadn't felt that way with someone in a long time. I started to think about the future. I wondered if he felt the same way I did. I tried to gauge his interest. I looked for signs that he liked me. He kept making eye contact. He laughed at my jokes. He seemed to be enjoying himself. Those were good signs. Still, I did not want to get my hopes up too high. I had been disappointed before. I tried to remain realistic. I told myself to just enjoy the moment. I did not want to overthink it. I let myself be present in the conversation. Then the conversation stalled. At one point, there was an awkward silence. We were both staring at each other. I could feel my heart pounding. I wondered if he was going to kiss me. I wanted him to. I was too nervous to make a move. He broke the silence. He said he had something he wanted to tell me. He said that he had liked me since he started working at the office. He said he was drawn to my quiet nature. He admired my intelligence. He thought I was beautiful. He was afraid to say anything because he did not want to make things awkward at work. He did not want to risk our professional relationship. He was surprised that I even came to the party. I did not know what to say. I had a crush on him for months. I thought it was obvious. Apparently, I was wrong. I did not realize he felt the same way. I guess I was good at hiding my feelings. Maybe he was too. It seemed like we were both trying to be professional. We did not want to cross any lines. I thought he was way out of my league. I never thought he would be interested in me. This whole situation was unexpected. I needed to process this information. I took a deep breath. I asked him if he was serious. I needed to be sure. He nodded. He said he had been wanting to tell me for a while. He just did not know how. He was nervous about rejection. I understood that. I was nervous too. I was glad he finally said something. I told him I felt the same way. I admitted I had a crush on him too. He seemed relieved. We both laughed. I was shocked. I could not believe what I was hearing. He liked me too. All this time, I felt a wave of relief wash over me. I also felt a bit foolish. I had spent so much time worrying about whether he would like me. I never considered that he might already feel the same way. After he confessed his feelings, I did something impulsive. I told him that I liked him too. I told him that I had a crush on him since he started. I told him about timing my trips to the break room. I told him about noticing his dog mug. I told him everything. My heart was pounding after I spoke. I worried I had misread the situation. I thought I might have ruined our friendship. I wondered if I came on too strong. I replayed my words in my head. I analyzed my tone of voice. I feared I had made a fool of myself. I waited for him to respond. The silence stretched. It felt like an eternity. I watched his face carefully. I tried to read his reaction. I could not figure out what he was thinking. He took a step closer to me. He looked directly into my eyes. He reached out and touched my arm. He paused for a moment. Then he spoke. I felt relieved. He seemed surprised. He was also happy. He smiled. He said he was glad I felt the same way. He asked if I wanted to go out sometime. I said yes. We exchanged numbers. We made plans to go for a hike the following weekend. The next day at work, things were different. There was a noticeable shift in the air. We both knew how the other felt. We still acted professionally. We did not want to make things obvious to our coworkers, but there was a certain electricity between us. We exchanged glances. We smiled at each other. It was exciting. I thought about him all night. I replayed the previous evening in my head. I wondered if he felt the same way I did. I hoped I had not misread the signals. I wanted to see him again soon. I considered texting him. I decided against it. I did not want to seem too eager. I wanted him to make the first move. I knew I would see him at work the next day. I could wait until then. The day went by slowly. I tried to focus on my work. I could not stop thinking about him. I found myself near his desk more than usual. I needed to talk to him. I did not want to wait any longer. I decided to ask him to lunch. I walked over to his desk. I asked if he was free. He smiled and said yes. A few of my coworkers noticed. They teased me about spending so much time talking to him at the party. They asked if something was going on between us. I played it cool. I told them we were just friends. I did not want to broadcast our relationship until we had gone on a few dates. The following weekend, we went for a hike. It was a beautiful day. The weather was perfect. The scenery was stunning. We talked and laughed the entire time. I felt completely comfortable around him. It was like we had been friends for years. At the end of the hike, we stopped at a scenic overlook. We sat down on a bench. We looked out at the view. He turned to me. He took my hand. He said he had a great time. He said he could not wait to see me again. He leaned in. He kissed me. It was a perfect kiss. It was soft. It was sweet. It was everything I had imagined. I kissed him back. We stayed there for a while. We just held each other. I felt like I was in a movie. We have been dating for a few months now. Things are going well. We are happy. We still work together. We have managed to keep our relationship professional at work. Our coworkers suspect something. They do not know the full extent of our relationship. We are not ready to tell everyone yet. My friend thinks I should have kept my feelings to myself. She says it was unprofessional to tell him I liked him, especially at a work function. She thinks I should have waited until we were no longer coworkers to pursue a relationship. She is worried about what would happen if we broke up. She says it would make things awkward at work. I disagree. I think it was worth the risk. I am happy that I told him how I felt. I do not regret it. I think we would have missed out on something special if I had not said anything. I understand my friend's concerns. I think we are both mature enough to handle the situation if things do not work out. I think we are capable of remaining professional, even if we are no longer together. But I really do not see that happening. So, AITA for telling my coworker I liked him after finding out he likes me too?